Hi, it's Jane. You won't believe the amount of cat hair I had to wipe off the lens here. We're into the next bin of yarns. So, and this is out of that first tote. So we have one of the ice cream, Lion Brand in pistachio. So there's that. Then we have 4 of the soft and sleek baby bee butterfly kiss. I think they're all butterfly kiss. Let me double check. Nope. There are 2 butterfly kiss, which are these 2. And they all have some pastels, greens, blues, pink in there with the white. And then there's Puppy Love that actually has little splotches of blue, yellow, green in it. So I have 2 of Puppy Love and 2 of the Butterfly Kisses. And I know this is a Hobby Lobby yarn, and I cannot remember the name of it. Or probably next time I go to Hobby Lobby, I need to look and see what it is. But it looks like it's a number 3 weight. Possibly. Thank you, Ronan. Possibly a 2 weight. You know, in between a 2 and a 3 weight. So I'm not real sure what I'm going to do with that. But there's a partial skein of the Caron 1 pound in the color Azure. And then there is a partial skein of the Caron Jumbo in Seafoam. So those could probably be used together. And that is what is in this one. I am going to be, I will tell you this, what I'm going to do with these 2. Or these 4. I believe I'm just going to make a baby blanket using all 4 of those. And still deciding on the pattern. The 2 Caron Jumbos, or 1 pounder and the jumbo. I don't know what I'm going to make for that. So I am asking for suggestions on what to make with that. And this one, I am going to reserve for, because it is I think it's a 3 weight. Yep, it's a 3 weight light. So I'm not real sure what I'm going to do with that one. Suggestions for this as well, because I only have 1 skein of it. So, and then the other one, that lovely purplish magenta, whatever it is. Purplish, I need to find an idea to do with this, something with this. So, those are some questionable areas for these guys. But, yeah, give me some ideas on what you think I should make with those different yarns. And I will also put up a poll later on this evening. Well, you're going to see this evening. I have a funeral to go to, so that's going to take precedence over this. Getting this one taken care of and ready to go. So I am going to be doing that. But in the meantime, I thought we would just do a little chit-chat while I work on the blanket again, crocheting it. And of course, that crazy sun's coming in. And there's no a whole lot I can do about that. So just deal with it, right? I don't know about you, but I'm pretty tired of winter. This morning, normally I would go to a prayer meeting. But once again, the weather and those icy roads are preventing me. Can you see how this is crazy? Let me see if I can change this. That's a little bit better. Now you're seeing that bathroom back there and that tote that's in the hallway. That tote has tote bags that I am actually going through to determine which would be okay to be used for Operation Christmas Child. So I still haven't gone through it. But yeah, it's been a little interesting here with the weather. I did not think we were supposed to get any snow last night. And of course, it was warm enough. It melted everything. Melted most of my driveway, with the exception of that top part. And then it snowed. And of course, it got cold again, so it refroze everything. I'm sick of winter. I really am. I am ready for spring to come. And I know it'll be here soon, but it can't come soon enough. Goodness. Cannot come soon enough. So, of course, because the way that it refroze and everything, couldn't get out this morning. And the road looked awful. I had posted a picture on Facebook. Of course, Jeanette and her husband have suggested that I get a flamethrower. And they did that after I had already filmed the video suggesting, talking about maybe I need to get a flamethrower. So I just find that funny and ironic. But yeah, I am seriously thinking about flamethrower. Then my next question is, does Elon Musk still sell flamethrowers as a fundraiser for some of his different fundraising things? Yeah, who knows? But I've woken up a couple days with pretty bad backache. And I know what that comes from. It comes from being out there and fighting with the snow and ice. So, and not only that, but getting older. Getting older is no fun, is it? I know I'm pretty tired of it. Ronan, will you stop? Oh my goodness. This cat, I'm telling you. He keeps messing with that, I think I can turn you back a little bit more this way. Don't get dizzy, don't get sick, sorry. Keeps messing with that mouse of his and playing with it and throwing it up onto my leg and my foot. That's his way of saying, let's play fetch. And so he keeps looking at me because I'm not playing fetch. He doesn't like that. Cats pretty much rule the roost anyway. What they say goes, at least that's what they think. So, this cat's something else, I'm telling you. And smart, oh my goodness, they are pretty smart. They can figure things out pretty quickly. But I still think it's funny the way they react when they see the light reflecting up on the ceiling from the cell phone when the sun comes in the window. They're pretty sure it's the laser and it's time to play. Them trying to jump up, get as high as they can to see it. That's kind of cute to watch too. Well, I see, unfortunately, where Joann's is going to be closing close to 600 stores nationwide. Now, I'm not sure if that is their answer to saving Joann's or what. Unfortunately, every Joann's store within a 2.5 to 3 hour radius of me is being closed. So I will not be able to go into stores to actually look and see the fabric, the yarn, sewing notions, those kind of things. So I guess I'm now stuck with doing online shopping for all of that. And of course, I doubt that I would go to Joann's for that. I'll probably start looking at more of the online fabric shops that I can kind of get a glimpse of the fabric, although I have purchased some fabric online that pictures looked way better than the actual fabric when it did get here. And then I've also had the opposite happen that didn't look as interesting, but thought, well, let me see what it looks in person. And it's been stunning fabric, so that's a little upsetting that that's going to happen. And I'm really not sure how that is actually going to affect my favorite reuse store. Which is Scraps and Skeins. I suppose people that buy things online or, that have them in their stash will go through and say, oh, well, I'm not really using this, or when family dies, family member dies and they have all those supplies, they'll probably still donate them. I know I'll still donate certain things to them. I quite frequently have people that donate fabric to me that is not usable for some of the things that I use fabric for. So I will pass it on up to Scraps and Skeins when I have enough of it, so that others can use it, so it helps keep it out of the landfill. And a lot of these are what's called utility fabrics. That was kind of weird. Heard an alarm go off, but I don't see where the alarm's at. I don't think my power went out, but didn't see anything happen like that. Who knows what's going on? So I guess it looks like if I want to do a big fabric haul, I'm going to have to travel probably to Lancaster to do it, which I believe is a little over 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours. Because there are quite a few Amish and Mennonite fabric stores that way. Still have the option of going over to Hoover's in Mifflinburg and they always carry fabric. And like I said, I don't know if his aunt is still in business or not. I had heard that she retired and was closing the shop, but I hadn't seen anything about it, so I guess one of these times when I take a trip over there to Hoover's, and I need to because my machine needs to be cleaned and given the once over. Guess I should just stop in and see if she is open or not. Of course, when I do that, I can always stop in my favorite, I think it's an Amish store, for some good sale prices on the frozen food. So who knows, maybe I'll do that. I think I'll do that until after the deep freeze is over, though. So now that we know that Joann's is actually closing stores, how many of you have gone on to do a massive yarn haul? I saw that Mad Mimi had put up a video of one of her yarn hauls from Joann's, so haven't watched it yet, just saw that she put it up, so that'll be interesting to see how many skeins of orange she got. As you know, that's her favorite color. And yeah, I just hate seeing these craft stores go out of business. And Joann's, they always carried such a nice variety. Anywhere from, a lot of things that people did with card making, painting, doll making, you name it. Crochet, knit, sewing, just a lot. And they had a lot of upholstery fabrics. So, yeah. It's just sad to see those go to where you can't walk in, purchase items. And I know it always used to bother me that a lot of people would come in to get things only during the holiday seasons. You'd see a lot of people buying like that. But one of the things, and I don't know if Michael's has this or not, but one of the things, that Joann's had always offered were teachers' discounts. And they didn't limit to whatever, to anything in the store. It was 10% discount. You just had to show that you worked for the school system and or university systems. And then you could purchase anything in there and get an additional 10% off. So, that's going to be a sorely missed store in my area, if you ask me. Michael's doesn't really have a lot of fabric. They have like yard cuts or half yard cuts, and it's pretty limited. They have fat quarters, but they're not really anything that I would really use a lot. Although I have purchased one or two in the past for personal projects. But like I said, you know, even if it's only some of the stores and you can still order online, maybe they've found a way to streamline it so they don't send you 6 boxes for an order of yarn and paid all that different shipping from different stores. So maybe they're, getting smart about that and consolidating. That is something that I always thought was funny about Michaels too. Because when you order from Michaels online, at least in my experience, I may get something from my store that's locally, that's shipped in a box. And then the next time, and the rest of the order is shipped from, say, New York. I don't know if New York has Michaels, but you know what I mean. Would be shipped from another state. So they paid twice for the shipping, while I only paid once for the shipping. That has to be a losing endeavor. So, but then again, I also kind of laugh because I figure, since all these Joann's are closing, you might be able to find some yarn deals on eBay. Although I'm pretty sure they jack up the prices. Kind of like some of these people that buy in big quantities of those yarns they know are being discontinued. They do it on purpose so they can resell it on eBay or Amazon at a higher cost. So yeah. And I've had a lot of people looking at Temu for yarn. I don't know if I would go to Temu for yarn, but you never know. That might happen. But I doubt it. I saw today where TikTok is now available in Apple and Google again in the Apple and Google store. So I'm kind of curious what that means. I mean, we're coming up on 30 days of 75-day extension. But who knows? Maybe someone did acquire it. Guess we'll find out eventually, won't we? Or maybe they're looking forward to the sovereign fund that Trump had created to purchase it. Now, I don't know how sovereign funds work in other countries, and I would be interested in them. That's on my list to do some research about. Yeah, I'm that kind of nerdy girl. So let me pause you a moment. Coming up on time. I'm kind of that nerdy girl. If I have a question in my mind, I write it down, so that if it is still burning in my mind later, I go look it up and start doing some research into it. So I don't know how those work in other countries. I'm not sure that it's a really good idea. I would think that it's a program that could be abused by both sides of the aisle when they get into power. But who knows? Maybe there are some pretty strict rules and that kind of thing. Of course, we've seen where we've had strict rules on government spending that have been abused for years anyway. Like programs that ended back in 2000. We've continued to pay them out each year for past 25 years. That's abuse. But I think more than that, that's fraud. So, I don't know. And I had someone tell me, try to tell me that Ivanka Trump had received $52 million through USAID. Yet when I went through searching for that, couldn't find it. The only thing that I did find is that there was a program that she endorsed that gave empowerment to women in different countries, in other countries, some empowerment skills. But she didn't receive that, so it was an organization. And as far as I understand, that funding was restored by President Trump anyway. After he did the big freeze. I mean, there are a lot of programs that were restored that people don't realize. I mean, all you have to do is look it up and see what's going on. But you got to look past the left-leaning newspapers because they're not telling you the truth. They are not. So. But then again, they haven't for years, so what do you expect? It's like I said, if you go looking, you'll find the real answer. Sometimes you have to dig a little. But, I see that as kind of a lot of people spreading misinformation. Like I said, I went to search, and you would think the left-leaning papers would be all about it, talking about it. And the only thing that I saw was out of that, she spent $11,000 on some guy that came in and did video for that program. So, yeah, I just find it interesting. And they claim all this stuff about the Trumps and their income. Supposedly they were selling secrets and all this bullshit. Then when you go look it up, you find out that even Newsweek debunked that nonsense. Newsweek debunked it. So yeah. Gotta be careful of your sources. I have a friend who keeps using as a source for their information a guy on X that his handle is Kremlin Trolls CIA. And if you go and you look at all the stuff under his moniker, because we don't know who he is. The other thing is he hides behind a facade of who he is, supposedly. But there's no confirmation that he's actually who he says he is. And some of the things he's posted makes you go, what? I would find that highly suspect, taking credible information from someone with that kind of moniker handle name on X. That's just me. But, see a lot on the left swearing by it. Have a lot on the left swearing that will tell you that the Doge team is getting $7 million a week for what they're doing for expenses. And yet, my understanding is all 100 members of the Doge team have already been working for the government for many years. They all have top security level. And they're not taking any other money for it. So, I don't know. Don't know what's true or what's not true anymore. But, you can't find any information about that, and there's nothing anywhere that says it's being done, other than people who like to spread a lot of fear-mongering and lies, because they always get caught up in their lies. And many times they even reveal their lie. So, and, I do find it curious that we have all these congressmen, threatening to fight and violence in the streets. Yet not a single one of them are defending the programs that they're supposedly getting these funds. They're not laying out educationally wise, what those different organizations that were funded these millions and billions of dollars actually do. I think the other day I'd asked a question about wanted to know who Jon Snow was. Did find some information on that. And still want to know why we're paying him so many millions of dollars each week. He's no longer a part of the government, from what I understand. And even still, if he was part of the government, why was he receiving millions of dollars each week? Just simple questions. And I think there's still that one company that does, when you go and you look at the U.S. budget, I think it's GAO, General Accounting Office, that Chemicron or something like that receives thousands of dollars 2 and 3 times a day, and nobody knows what they do and who they are. So who are they? At first, I thought it was one of those companies that takes care of the electronics, keeping them functioning. But it's not. That's a totally different company. And they don't have any government contracts, so just kind of interesting. I'd like those answers to come out. Who they are, what they do, why we're giving them so much money every day. And it's kind of like the Lutheran Center for Immigration and something services. Why were they receiving millions every day for that? What's that about? Why can't we see their books, have them audited? A lot of these organizations do not have to provide audits of what they're doing with the money, and I think they should. the same way with Catholic services. I think they should have to provide audits every year of what they do. You know, my husband received a couple of grants from Department of Energy and Department of Defense. He had to provide documentation of where all those funds were going, what it was going for. So, and he had to provide an audit of that. So, you know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, I guess. And who is looking forward to actual warm weather? What are your plans for when the warm weather comes up? I know one of mine is to get out there and battle the bamboo long before it gets a good foothold. I've gone out there on fairly decent days to cut back some of the old branches that I can find. Some of those stems, cut them back down so they don't get much sunlight, that kind of thing. Tried to make sure I don't cut the mullein down, because I do want that to spread. But, like I said, I would like to have a garden too, but that's going to come along real slow. Most likely it'll just be a container garden. Done that before. We did that when we lived in Blacksburg, when Thomas was working on his PhD. And we grew tomatoes, we grew different peppers, squash, we had potatoes, had green beans, we had okra, which is my favorite. And can't think of some of the other things we had, but we had quite a variety of different items out in container gardening. The only problem is we had to shoo away the skunk that lived under the deck because she liked to come up and nibble. Which I thought was interesting because I always thought they were meat eaters. But she would come up and nibble on things. We had neighbors' dogs that would come over and chew on the plants, so we kind of had to, if we saw them out there, we had to go out and make sure they weren't out there. Make sure they weren't nibbling. Didn't have a problem with raccoons or any other varmints, other than that. Biggest thing is birds, I think, too, because birds would come and pick at the tomatoes, and I thought that was odd. I never thought birds would pick at tomatoes, but apparently they do like to do that. Maybe they think they're sharpening their beak, I don't know. But, so I'm kind of looking at doing those kind of things. Now, my mother-in-law had always told us that we needed to do butter beans. We needed to grow butter beans, but I could live without butter beans, to be honest. But I know she liked them, so. But we never tried to grow butter beans in containers, so I don't know if that's even possible. Oh, well, here I am yammering on and on. I think it's time to let you go, and I will see you again fairly soon. Everybody have a great week. Did want to come back and tell you, did find out that this yarn is Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK. So it is considered a 3-weight yarn. But yeah, did find that out. So did a little search. But yeah, just wanted to ask you again, what do you think I should make with this? I only have one of them. That's it, all by its lonesome. And see, it's falling apart, needs to be rewound. It's gonna get rewound. All right, see you guys soon. Remember, again, be kind, do something kind today.